Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show. Whoa. Hey, it's episode 23. Michael Jordan. And we have a guest. It's Josh. Was kind enough to come back and visit with us again.
Glad to be back. Long time no see.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's 23 in NASCAR? I'm thinking Bubba Wallace now, right?
Bubba Wallace. That's such a NASCAR name.
Bubba.
and
Wallace.
And I was just say Ed Wallace. And then Dick Trickle. That was such a NASCAR. A guy's name for NASCAR. But yeah, Bubba Wallace. So you had Rusty Wallace. Did Rusty have a brother? Daryl Wallace. They were brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, is Bubba related to Rusty and Daryl?
This is gonna sound racist, but I think wasn't Bubba a black guy?
He is, but maybe just his mom. I don't know. He might be.
I think it's Wallace in NASCAR is like Smith. It's everyone's got that name.
Maybe he's adopted.
Could be. Who was your favorite NASCAR driver growing up?
Rusty Wallace.
Was it Rusty?
Yeah. Number 2, MGD originally.
Yeah.
The black car. And
yeah,
then he
with
went,
gold lettering.
Then he went Miller Lite, and I think him and who was his partner with the 12 car? Ryan Newman, or is that too?
It sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the one they had the Tauruses in with the white hood, or if you played it on the video games, they couldn't have Miller Lite, so it was always just Penske Racing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never even really noticed that. When I was a kid, you don't watch NASCAR. Like, do you?
Daytona 500 once in a while. I'll still watch if it's on.
Yeah, but I don't watch NASCAR. But when I was a kid, it seemed like NASCAR, because like even my dad, like that was a thing. Like when I was a kid, we would turn the NASCAR race on, and like I don't even think my dad pays attention. Like I don't even know if he even remotely pays attention to it. I have no idea. I don't think I can name you.
Well, I think the big one now was it Chase Elliott? I think that's Bill Elliott, the McDonald's guy.
Yeah, Bill Elliott was McDonald's.
I think that's his son.
What about who's like doesn't Earnhardt have a No. Who's driving a number 3 now?
Aaron Dillon?
Yeah.
Austin Dillon,
something like that. But that's because that's who the frick did Earnhardt race for?
Hendricks.
No, it wasn't
Right?
Hendricks. Dale Earnhardt Jr. raced for Hendricks for a while at the end there.
Oh yeah, Hendricks was Gordon and
Gordon.
Jimmy Johnson.
Who in the frick? And Terry Labonte was Hendricks too, I think.
Tell Billy to look it up.
Billy's our producer. Hey, Billy, look up who Earnhardt raced for. Get back to us on that. All right. But yeah, Earnhardt was fun because he had his own company, or he had his own race team, but he himself did not actually race on that team.
Yeah, because his son did, right? But that was Busch Series.
Yeah. And then even when Dale got into NASCAR Winston Cup, he raced for his old man. Billy, you're gonna get to us on that? Okay. We'll get back to you on that. So anyway, Cole Trickle, he was my favorite.
Oh yeah. Robin's racing.
Robin's racing. Didn't you tell me once that you were gonna open up your own garage or something like that?
Yeah, so I wanted to be a mechanic when I was a little boy, and that's because of that movie. Like was it Harry, right?
Harry Boyd or something like that?
And that's like, I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool. And we had this inflatable Rusty Wallace car.
Okay.
MGD car, and then my brother and I used to race it around the house, and then I would be the pit crew guy and act like I'm changing the tires.
I remember when I was a little kid, I always we would have the a rocking chair, and I would always bring it up, and then I would lay underneath the chair like it was a car.
Yeah. It's funny now because I know nothing about cars. Like I can change a tire, I can change oil, and that's about it. Like
I don't know. I mean, it's all that electric pull. Oh, Billy. Yeah, Billy. Yeah, it was Richard Childress.
oh,
Childress
yeah.
Racing. Thanks, Billy. Anyway, my favorite back in the day, I guess mine was Jeff Gordon. I think everyone liked Jeff Gordon, so I kind of feel bad about that because everyone liked. I appreciate you liking Rusty Wallace because not everybody liked Rusty
because
Wallace.
your dad was a Chevy guy growing up, right?
Yeah, we were a GM family.
Yeah, my dad was a Ford guy.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess if you were a Ford guy, I guess that Rusty Wallace probably was your
main
person.
Ford guy, yeah.
But then I didn't blaze my own path, and I liked Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte was my
18
favorite.
lime green.
Yeah,
and
Interstate Batteries.
That's Joe Gibbs, right? And his partner
Gibbs
was
racing.
Tony Stewart.
Yeah, yes, that is correct. And now, yeah, I couldn't tell you nowadays. But I did not expect to sit here and talk this long about NASCAR.
Bringing up good memories.
Those are good memories. Watching Days of Thunder. Oh man, those are good times. So the reason why we have Josh on the episode today is because Josh is a relatively new father.
4 months ago, about she was born. Well, I don't want to do the math. June 13th, though, is when she was born. So
okay.
4 or 5 months.
June is 4.5 months old, I guess.
All right.
So, and this episode is in regards to being a first-time father. Maybe parent, but specifically from the father's point of view. Last week's episode was about the ladies with hobbies. This week's episode is for all the, for anybody listening, but specifically for first-time dads. So I wanted to get Josh on here because I'm not gonna lie to you, Josh. I did.
Go ahead.
I was wondering if you would ever have a kid.
Yeah. No, I'm a little late to the game, I guess,
but no, you had a child, and which is fantastic because I'm a proud father of 3, and it's fantastic. So I guess the first thing I want to ask you is, was there anything that you were worried about that turned out to be not that big of a deal? So like you found out your wife was pregnant. And now you're like, oh no, this is gonna happen. Something was gonna happen, and then ended up, not something was gonna happen, but like just being a dad. Now that you're a dad, like.
So I mean, I guess I should throw out a disclaimer first. Like,
okay,
I was, if I was worried about something, absolutely everything. But my wife now, amazing mother, amazing wife. She was very prepared. She's babysat babies when she was teenager on. So she knew what she was doing. She knew what to expect with babies. I was clueless. I didn't even know. Like I asked the bachelor party we were at, the Brewer game one.
Oh yeah.
I asked the father that was there, and I said,
I don't remember that much.
I said, okay. I said, this is going to be kind of a dumb question, but I'm like, what do you bring to the hospital?
Did you ask me that?
It was you and Blaine. Maybe you were standing in the corner or the circle when we were talking.
Oh yeah.
But I asked a couple of you guys, like, what do you bring to the hospital? Because now this is me talking, not my wife. You know, obviously my wife would be like, well, obviously you got to bring this and this and this.
All right, yeah.
But I just around the guys, I'm like, well, what do you bring? Like, what does the baby go home in? I didn't know if the hospital gave you clothes to put the baby in.
Sure.
I had no idea how long we were going to be there.
How long were you there?
We went in on the, she was induced on the 12th, which I think was a Wednesday.
Okay.
And then I kind of expected, all right, what is this going to take? A couple hours. Baby's going to be out. We're going to be on our way home. You know,
right. Stop at McDonald's on the way home.
And
are you cooking tonight, honey?
Yeah. So I was making golf plans for Saturday. Yeah. You know, I'm like, well, yeah, we're having the kid on Wednesday. I can golf on Saturday.
Sure.
You know? And I even okayed it with my wife too. She said, yeah, as long as everything goes well, you can go.
Holy shit.
So
she's a saint.
Yeah. Well, and one of a kind she is. One of a kind. But so then she was induced, and it wasn't working the way it was supposed to work. Whatever. Like the baby was coming out, but not as fast as they wanted.
Yeah.
It ended up being that because the first night we were sitting there, and I don't know if I'm going to see the correct numbers, but I think she was like 1 or 2 centimeters dilated, and I think the nurse said like once we get to like the 9 mark, then everything goes pretty fast.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, we're at 1 or 2 hours go by, we're still at 1 or 2 hours go by, we're still at 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden at night some stuff started happening. I'm like, all right, we're spending the night. I've been warned about the couches or the chairs. My couch wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I slept like a baby. No pun intended. I slept like a baby in the hospital.
And I was out cold, like, so I guess some stuff happened at night where the baby's heartbeat got weaker. So they came in, flipped on all the lights. They were gonna possibility of a C-section right away.
Okay.
And I guess I slept through the whole thing. I was snoring away on the couch.
You woke up, you're like, did I miss my tea time?
Yeah. I was just like, oh, I slept pretty good. Or I think I told her I slept like shit, and she's like, you slept like shit? You're like, you were out the whole night, even when they came in and turned on all the lights. I'm like, oh, I thought I remembered something like that. But anyway, so then that was the first day. Second day, started making progress. Then all of a sudden it stopped, and then the pain was really intense for my wife. And what had happened is the baby's head got stuck in the pelvis on the way out, so it was like it couldn't go any further down.
Okay.
So they're like, okay, we're gonna do.
Is that what the ectopic pregnancy is or something like that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But we were gonna do the C-section, get everything prepped. They put me in my gown, my mask, my hairnet, and then doctor we had a great doctor. She says like, all right, what's gonna happen? We're gonna take her in there. We're gonna prep her. We're gonna bring you into the room. They knew I was a fainter.
Okay.
They didn't even let me in there for the epidural. Like they made me leave the room anytime needles are involved. All right, we're gonna bring you in, sit you down by Mel, or my wife. Her name is Mel, and then do the gender reveal or whatever, boy, girl, because we didn't know what we were having.
Okay, all right.
And then I thought, I'm like, okay, yeah, then that'll be it. Then I can get out of there, no problem. So I'm on the hall waiting for them to tell me it's ready. She comes in, she's like, all right, about 2 minutes until baby, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready. She calls me in. First thing they say is like, we either have a chair on wheels or a stool without a back. What do you want to sit on?
Okay.
And I'm like, well, give me the chair with the back, just in case if I keel over. They're like, okay. So they sit me in there, and Mel's in some pain. She's getting doped up or whatever, so she's getting a little better. And baby comes out. We couldn't even see if it was a boy or girl because the umbilical cord was kind of hanging down there.
Yeah, right. Yep.
And then they take the baby away, and they're doing their stuff. And I'm like, what is it, boy or girl? Like, oh, it's a girl. I was like, oh, a girl, So I'm like, all right, my time to leave, and I'm trying to look for an exit. Meanwhile, when they're sewing my wife back up, she's having some chest pains and stuff. And so she's kind of getting fussy and panicky. And I'm getting kind of panicky. Then I look over to the baby, and she had trouble breathing at first, which I guess happens with C-sections.
Jesus.
So they're trying to call a pediatrician, and I'm like, I gotta get out of this room,
Yeah.
So I stand up to try to leave. I'm like, I just gotta get out of here. Well, then I start fainting. So the nurse and another guy that was in there, like, grabbed me, sat me down, put ice on my head and stuff. Finally, they got me out of the room. As I'm in the hallway, I hear a nurse walk by, and she's like, what a shit show that is in there.
Did she know that you were like the dad sitting there?
No. But because I was back in the room already, drinking apple juice and eating some cookies. But after everything was said and done, I mean, I was panicking. That's a scary.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
all other dads told me, like, don't look below the curtain.
I did look below the curtain. It didn't bother, but
and I didn't want to see any blood or anything. So like I was kind of preparing myself for just going through the labor process.
Yeah.
we got the easy job on that.
Yeah, the fun job.
Yeah.
Well, not the labor part, but the making
Still
part.
creating, yeah.
So my first son, my only son, my firstborn, was like damn near not with all ours. It did go a little better, but we went in to get induced, and like nothing happened, kind of thing. And then no, I take that all back. We didn't go in to get induced. We went in. We went. How the hell did that go? Did we? I cannot remember if we went in to get induced or if we went in knowing that we were gonna have us. Oh, yeah. So my son was flipped upside down.
Breached.
Breached.
Yeah. So my daughter was too at first.
Oh, no kidding. So they flipped her?
She flipped by herself, but she was
thank goodness.
Some kind of breach where she's basically like sitting with her head down, but her legs are bent over her head too.
Oh, jeez.
I forgot what that was called, but
okay. So yeah, our son was breech, and we had the conversation of, do we try it? Because I guess the doctors can flip it, but I guess I've heard people say that alone is more painful than the actual birth.
I believe that.
So we were like, screw that. My wife was all like, I don't know, women are, whatever, but she was all like, well, I want to have it naturally, or whatever. But then she was like, I'm not going through the pain of that. So, and then they're like, it's not even a for sure thing. It's going to work. So we're like, so we scheduled a C-section. Yeah. So we scheduled it. And that was so, I'll tell you this, when you go in just having a C-section, that almost went like perfect. Because we walked in, we're like, it's 10 o'clock. We went right into the room, cut the baby out. Things did go good, thank God. And then, but we were there because it was a C-section, so we were there for like 4 days.
Yeah, then you got the longer recovery.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously ours ended up being C-section too, so I missed my tea time on Saturday. I think we first got out of there Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
But it's such a good feeling to walk out of that hospital finally.
Oh, we didn't want to leave. We didn't want to leave the hospital, actually.
Oh, man.
Because we were like, we got to know the nurses, and they were always helping us. We're like, oh, we got to go home and do this ourselves.
That's true. And we had a really, really great nurse. One of the nurses, well, they all were pretty good, but one was really, really good.
Yeah.
And, it's nice because they took her at night.
Oh,
so we actually got full nights of sleep, and...
real quick, so our second child, that one was a little bit more... We went in, so we were going to do a VBAC, a vaginal birth after C-section, and because she wanted to have it naturally or whatever, and then she got induced, but it was like it took 24 hours for it to actually happen. That one was a little bit more scary. My wife she was like, there was some more things going on there. Our daughter, but everything turned out all right. But it was funny though, when we had our third kid, like literally my wife's giving birth and I'm on the phone because like we ordering supper because like the kitchen was going to close at 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I gotta get I'm in the mood for chicken strips. So literally the doctors are in there, she's pushing, and I'm like, I got a quick call. So I'm on the phone ordering chicken strips. I was just in the mood for chicken strips. And then the doctor all of a sudden is like, Justin, the baby's coming like really quickly. So I was like, shit. So I had to put it down, but the baby came out so fast that I was able to get back on the phone and get the chicken strips. So it's just funny how when you have your first child, just so you know, like if you do have more, it's just funny how that third child is just like, I've seen it, done it. I gotta get.
I said for any future children, I think I'm just gonna, because we'll have to get C-sections now every time.
Do you have to though?
Well, you don't have to, but the doctor kind of said like you can try it, but chances are the same thing's gonna. Plus, I mean, this one had my big head, so maybe we might get lucky on another.
Oh yeah, on your head. Yeah.
But I said I'm just gonna. I'll pop my head in to see gender reveal if we don't find out beforehand, and then that's it. Like I don't need to watch any other stuff.
Well, that C-section thing is, it's pretty hardcore. So, you kind of weaved that answer there. So is there anything? Now that you're a father, though, like, were you worried about like changing diapers, or were you worried about like, was there anything that you were worried about that now it's like, oh, I don't even know why I was worried about that.
Uh,
This is a walk in the park.
Diapers. I mean, I think I have done diapers before, like my like younger cousins and stuff. Like diapers, I wasn't too worried about, but the fact of her being a female
Yeah,
was just because the parts are different.
that is because yeah, that's a true thing. I was really worried.
Yeah. And my wife's like, you got to make sure you get everything
There's a lot
cleaned
of
out
crevices.
out of there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my firstborn was a son, so I mean, it's like, okay, that's easy to
You
worry
just got to
about.
worry about them peeing on you.
Yeah, which happens. It's crazy. But my daughters, it's like, yeah, it's like I don't want to get any poop in the wrong in that.
Right.
It's funny, kind of. It's kind of weird to talk about, but it is like a true. Like that probably goes through men's minds. It's like I got to be very careful here. But another question I had for you was, what was maybe something that, okay, now you have your baby, little girl, everything's fine, you're home. What was something that was maybe unexpected that you weren't really like never even thought of, and you're like, oh Jesus, this is not what I was thinking it was going to be. Was there anything like that?
Well, the whole like I always wanted to be a father.
Okay.
You know.
Yep.
And no, before I get there, well, one thing I should say, I wish you would have had this podcast out before I had kids or a child, and
This
and you would have had some other dad on here talking about what to expect, because I learned a lot from this show. My wife listens to it too, and so now like we're budgeting money. I think you actually sent me your spreadsheets.
I did. Yeah. That's great to hear.
Mine are a little smaller than yours, but and then we got vitamins now. She just bought vitamin D, zinc. What's that? Ours are gummies. Are yours gummies?
No, because look at the ingredients on the gummies.
Not as good.
A lot of gelatins in there, lectins.
They taste so good.
Probably. No, my wife did buy some vitamins for the kids, and I was giving her a hard time because I was like, "Did you even look at this?"
And then another thing, and I stopped washing my hands after I pissed now.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Big life changes.
Well, that is fantastic to hear, and I hope maybe there's someone listening to this that can take those takeaways and then also maybe learn something through you for being a dad. So
next year I want to focus on the yard. I got to get that grass.
What do you think of my grass?
It's nice. It's good grass.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a bad time of year for grass, but you're just still staying strong.
Well, the reason, I fertilized it, and then, but I also reseeded it, and I was watering the hell out of it. Now we finally got some rain, and that was actually nice. But I'm excited what it's gonna look like next year. When you get old,
Big
it's just
things coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, the surprising, I guess, like I always wanted to be a dad. But I think as picturing being a father, like I never pictured the baby stages.
Oh, sure.
I always pictured like, toddlers, or when they're talking to you, or elementary school, in high school. And then you like your kids, like Mason, like
that's all right, whatever. MJ
as a baby, like I see him, and then I wouldn't see him for like another 6-8 months or whatever. It's like, oh, they grow so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's your kid, when you're spending every day with it, it's like,
yeah.
And I don't think, like, so many people have said, enjoy this time. Like, enjoy this time. You're going to regret when it's over. I don't think I'm ever going to be like, oh, I wish I had a newborn baby again at home.
No,
I don't think I'm ever going to say that.
I agree with you. I mean,
they're like, cute, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but like, I agree with you. The baby stage is not a great stage. I mean, I don't want that to come off the wrong way, but it just isn't. When they, like, right now, I will say right now, my kids are at the perfect age for me. That's like the 6 and the 4. Yes, it's tough because they are fighting a lot and getting on each other's nerves, but they can at least tell you stuff and talk to you. Like my 2-year-old, that's still a little rough because she just points at the pantry and just cries and screams. But my youngest though is still like 2 is still fun. Like the other day she came out, I was laying on the couch and it's nighttime. Like we put him down to sleep, and then she comes downstairs out of her room because we have her sleeping with. It's a long story. She's not sleeping, right? I told you that on the last episode. So she comes downstairs and she comes to me. I'm laying on the couch. She goes, "Good morning, Dada." You know, it's not morning. And then she goes and does this. She takes her finger and does this, boop, on my nose. She just takes her finger and does boop on my nose, and it's so cute and it's awesome. And like when I started this podcast, I think I brought up like I would come home, all 3 kids would come run up to me and give me hugs. Now like she's the only one really that does that still, and the other 2 are kind of not doing it anymore, unless I come like, come on guys. But so the 2-year-old, I would say from 2 to 6 is the best age. Yeah. Quite frankly, I don't know what it's like to have an older kid. But.
We're at that stage now where she's recognizing us. We have been for actually a little bit now.
And smiling.
Yes, and that is heart melting. Like when she's like, hears your voice, or wake her up in the morning, good morning, and she's smiling and all happy.
Exactly. Do you have any tips for being a new father?
Listen to your wife.
No, tips for being a dad, not a husband.
No, that too. But no, I just so I didn't read any books, ever like or parenting books.
And I didn't read the books either, guys. Yeah, I didn't read the books.
So I went into it blind. Just recently, now we've been taking a parenting class on Tuesday nights.
Why don't you talk about that class? You told me a little bit about that class.
So it's through a music class that we bring our baby to, just kind of introduce her to music and developmental stuff. And you watch a video every week on this lady's giving like a presentation or whatever, and you watch the video on it. And the lady's good. I mean, the lady's really good. One thing that really stuck out to me is like she's doing this in like a studio area, probably, I don't know, 150 people in the audience.
Okay.
And they're all females.
Yeah.
And then we get to our, it's like a Zoom video chat class or whatever at 6:30 at night.
Okay. And
the 2 teachers are females, and every other person in the class is a female.
So you're the only man in this class?
And here I am sitting here, the proud dad in it. Well, so I have been spending time now off camera on it, though, because I'm just like, I don't want to be looking at this camera, having it on here if I roll my eyes or something. But
Right.
But I listened to it, and it is good. Like, one thing that really stuck out to me is, and I agree with it 100%, is your children are learning from you even when you're not trying to teach them. Like if you're trying to tell your kids, all right, stay calm, stay respectful, and then you have them in the car seat and you're driving, and a guy cuts you off and you're like, this stupid mother.
Yeah.
They pick up on that, and they think that's how you act when something goes wrong. So like I'm making a conscious effort to just like not only be calm to her when I'm trying to be calm, but even like when she's crying, the dogs are barking, the cat's knocking shit off the counter, the Vikings are losing. like this still.
Yeah, this is a Vikings fan, everybody.
Stay relatively, like calm, and then make sure like I learned for myself personally, like driving through cities. My dad was a big one. Turn the radio down, no one talk. I gotta focus.
Oh, really?
And I started doing that now as an adult. And
really.
Like you pick up stuff from your parents that you don't realize you pick up from.
Yeah, definitely. I can go off of so I didn't pick up. I try not to do what my dad did to me. My dad I love the guy to death, but he kind of ruined me. Like when I would lay on the floor watching TV, and he would like step on the back of my leg. or like if we were going on the highway, radio up, windows down, and have my arm on the window, and he would like roll my window up, and it freaked me out. Like he really made me a very jittery person. So I remember those, and I purposely try not to do that stuff. But I will say, like with the kids, they are watching everything you do, everything. Like I was watching my youngest, or my wife was telling me this. My youngest was playing by herself, and like we have this little like kitchenette in the toy room, and she was like, there's like a little microwave, and she was like pressing the buttons on the microwave, and she's going boop boop boop, like just because she watches us put things in the microwave, and it makes it like they watch I mean, it is crazy. They watch everything. Or we're driving on the road, and me and my wife are talking, and all of a sudden Mason will be like, well, who is that jackass they're talking? You know, like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have said that, you know, stuff like that. But like they are literally. So you need to be like, if you want to have good kids, I'm a firm believer in. I don't know if this is gonna come off the right way, but like if your kids grow up to be assholes, you have no one else but yourself to blame.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Like parenting matters so much, and like, yeah, I mean, there are times though. I mean, obviously, newborn's frustrating. I don't agree with it, but
Okay.
I understand now why some dads go out for a pack of cigarettes and never come back.
And
But you know, they say though, like, I've read somewhere that stress can cause, you know, gray hair or balding.
yeah,
And I mean, this past year, my life's been pretty eventful. Like a promotion at work.
congratulations.
So all new role, all new stress factors there. Then newborn baby.
Yeah.
And if I keep my hair this year, I don't think I'm ever gonna go bald.
Are you not thinning? You're not even thinning?
A tiny bit, like on the forehead, a tiny bit, but not much.
I'm like, I have hair, but it's like thinning on like the top, which really sucks. It's hard to like style your hair when you lose it, like at the corners up here, which you can't see at home, but I'm pointing to the top of my head.
I can see.
Yeah. And I'm gray, but I was gray before I even
gray's
had
not
kids.
bad though. I think
Gray's sexy.
Yeah.
Gray's sexy.
You know, salt and pepper.
No, man, that's cool. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that everything's going good and happy. Is your child sleep through the night?
She does. So she was a pretty good sleeper right off the bat.
Okay.
I think the first couple nights were probably just like my own anxiety kicking in, you know. And
do you ever go to your child and then like give her a nudge and like make sure she moves?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's because when she falls asleep, she'll go from crying to just arms over the head out cold.
Okay.
You know, and I'll be watching the baby monitor, and I'll
It's
be
usually how I fall asleep at night.
yeah, and you're watching, you're like, she breathing?
Yeah.
She breathing? So I'll sneak in there once in a while, and I won't touch her, but I'll put my ear real close to her mouth or whatever. And be like, okay, she's still breathing. You sneak back out of the room.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's exactly it. I would say if there's anybody listening who's gonna have a child, I don't know why, but babies have their nights and days. Like, it's just weird. You probably are not going to get much sleep at the beginning, and then the babies are going to sleep like angels during the day, which is weird because it's light and it's loud and everything. And then at nighttime, when it's quiet and dark, they usually don't sleep that well. And I think that has something to do with them being in the womb for 9 months because it's so dark and like they're awake sometimes. Like that doesn't, like, it being dark and quiet isn't going to make them fall asleep. So like, I think that sound machines. Do you have a sound machine?
We have a sound machine.
Sound machine is key.
She loves the ocean sound.
Oh,
or
okay.
Any spa music. She loves the spa music.
Okay. And then another thing that we used was a I don't remember, zippity. Well, we it's called a zippity zip or something like that. And basically, what will happen is if you're a baby, they jerk and they kick their feet, and that'll wake them up. But in the zippity zip, like, they're kind of like constrained. Actually, to begin with, we would put them in like a sack.
Yeah,
like
she's in a sleep sack.
Yeah, sleep sack. Like, and then her arms are tight.
Wow. In the beginning, we had that.
Yeah.
But now that she's just in like a loose sleep sack, her arms are free, but it's got like a little
like a weight.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
chest kind of.
Yeah, that's all. We use all that stuff too, and it works. So like, if you're having trouble with your kids, look into that stuff because. And then we use the zip. And I mean, we used the zippity zip till they were like. I mean, old, like 2. Like our youngest is out of it now. I would say 1 years old, and it was just because like if they would kick, but then they get used to that. They like having it.
Yeah.
And they don't have a blanket, obviously. So I would say until they start turning, until you can give them a blanket. But it's just something I remember for anyone out there that's going to have a kid. What else do I got on here?
She slept 12 hours the other day, so like she's got the sleeping thing down. She gets that from her dad, I think, too.
Oh man, yeah, but the thing is, so she's rolling yet or no?
No, she's about to. The doctor said any day now, and she's rolled a couple times, but like not completely by herself.
Okay,
kind of thing. But
no, that it's funny too. When you have a kid, everything is huge. Like, oh my god, they rolled over. And now they're crawling, and now they're walking, and now my kids are jumping off the stairs onto the couch, and it's just crazy. But it is fun. I would say when they get a little like my 6-year-old, he well, he's big on the Titanic. It's just funny watching him play. He's out in the backyard running around, like he's just running around yelling, "Iceberg ahead, iceberg ahead!" It's just kind of funny the stuff they come up with. Actually, my kid right now, he's big on. Do you know the Malaysia flight?
That one missing?
Yeah, that's his thing right now.
Really.
Like he's like, let's watch a video on and it's like the Malaysia flight M370. It's like, dude, you're 6 years old. You don't want to watch like Bluey or something like that. He's like, no, I'm gonna watch it on the plane that went missing. And then we were watching a show the other day where they were talking about the Indian Ocean, and he's like, that's where that plane went missing. It's just the shit they come up with. I don't know, it's just funny, but yeah, it gets. I mean, having kids is not. I mean, you're gonna have your days, but I think the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. So, if you're thinking about having a kid, I would say you should do it.
Yeah, overall, I think it's been a positive experience. Would not be able to be a single dad.
No,
so like, I don't know if you and Cassie
getting divorced.
had that conversation about like when you're having your firstborn child or even your second or third. Like if something were to happen during the labor process and you could only save one.
We didn't talk about that.
No, so I told Mel, my wife, straight up, I said, I'm saving you. and I, there's no right answer to that, I don't think.
Okay.
But if I don't save her, I'm not going to be able to raise this kid by myself anyways.
Yeah.
Like, and uncle of mine once said, because he actually almost had to make that decision.
Oh, no kidding.
And he said, no, I told my wife I'd save her because, I can always make another baby. I can't make another her.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is true. But yeah, I mean, I thank God, and hopefully, God willing, I will never have to make that decision in my life.
No, I wouldn't even. I don't even want to think about it. But I couldn't be to all the single moms out there. God bless you. But being a single dad, or it'd be one like maybe when they get older. Not maybe when they get older, like not that I'm thinking about it, but like if they were older, that'd be one thing. But like a brand new baby as a dad,
no.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, women are. And this isn't a podcast where we celebrate women, but they do definitely deserve
round of applause.
Yeah, a round of applause for that for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. What else was I going to ask you about that? So, sleeping good throughout the night. Are you guys breastfeeding?
She started breastfeeding. We're not breastfeeding anymore.
You guys do formula?
Formula, yeah.
Yeah, we do. We did. That's another thing for you listening at home. So we were all like, okay, it's so funny. Okay, another thing too, just to tell you, it is funny how your firstborn child, you're all like, are you guys all like, wash your hands?
No.
No. You're not like that?
We, we've always been big believers, like, some germs are okay. You have to build that immune
Oh,
system.
that way, sure. When we had our firstborn, we were like, we were pretty like wash your hands and stuff like that. We were like that, and then on our third child, we were, it was
Yeah,
like whatever,
yeah. Go
But
play in the yard.
yeah, so like we did the we tried breastfeeding didn't really work that well. So then we pumped, or I didn't pump. I did some pumping, but she pumped, and then we fed the baby breast milk. Our second child, we did the same thing, and then our third child, we were like, nah, we're not. We're
Yeah.
formula. And I'll tell you what, my third born is just as healthy, if not healthier, than the first two.
Yeah, I think the main pro in my mind about like breastfeeding over formula would have just been money wise, because formula is so damn expensive.
Yeah, and we had ours during COVID. Like there was a shortage of formula.
Yeah.
We were literally buying formula on Marketplace. And,
Really?
like going to people's houses buying formula, obviously sealed or whatever. And then like we would go into Meijer, that's a restaurant or
Grocery store.
a grocery store, and like you could only buy 2 or 3 or something. So my wife would go in and get 2
And
or
then
3,
you-
and then
yeah.
I would go in and we go to different checkouts. So we totally hurt the or went against the system, but everyone else was doing it too. But I don't think that's a problem nowadays. But the thing is so when you were in the hospital, so I'm sorry. So you were gonna try to breastfeed, and then you're like, screw it, just do formula. Is that what you said?
Well, yeah, she tried, and it kind of created more of a stressful, like the baby's crying,
Yeah,
and
right. And you never really know how much they like.
right,
Our
how much they eat or anything.
So our Mason, when he was colicky. Is your baby colicky?
No.
Oh, would not wish that upon my worst enemy. A colicky baby, you will have some dark thoughts that cross your head.
Well,
It's not good.
I'll get hour spurts or something where like nothing makes her happy, and then I could not imagine all that.
Yeah. So our MJ was colicky, and but he was like colic for like all day, 24 hours a day. And really what it came down, so he had a tongue tie or something like that. So we took him to like a speech therapist actually, which is funny because he couldn't talk, but we had to do like mouth exercises with him and stuff like that. But basically he couldn't latch, so we had to feed him with a bottle. But I remember the day that the speech therapist was like, okay, all the muscles are relaxed, and he was better from that day on. And so basically he just went like 3 months without eating. Is really what, like, he was just hungry.
I wonder if it was like a constant pain for him too, a little bit, like a cramp.
Maybe, I don't know. But and our third child, she also had like a tongue tie, but we just took her to a dentist actually, and they
Untied it.
like lasered it. What'd you say?
I said
Untied it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, but like with a laser, it was kind of a thing. And then she was fine too. But yeah, that's why I like feeding with a bottle, even if it was breast milk. 2 things: with the bottle, you just knew, you had that peace of mind, like, okay, the baby's fed. But also, I noticed that if you're, just so you know, if you're going to a hospital and you're gonna do a formula, like I'm telling you, our nurses, when we told them with our third child, we're just doing formula, we got treated a little differently.
Really?
Yeah, we felt like we were almost like we were bad people, that we were not.
See, our nurse actually took extra formula from like their storage or whatever.
Yeah.
And like sent us home with extra bottles or whatever.
So I shouldn't say that about the nurses. Like we had some good ones too, and they gave us some extra, especially because there was a shortage. But there was like the people there that like their main job was to like what the hell is that called?
The breastfeeding specialist.
Yeah, something like that. And they were like, "Oh, you're not feeding formula, lactation consultant." Yeah. But I don't know. Long story short, do what is right for you, man. All our children turned out fine and everything. I will say though that our youngest, who was formula fed, does look a little bit more filled out though. So if you want a skinny kid, you might stick to the breast. But yeah, do you have anything else that you want to say? Anything else that you want to get off your chest about being a first-time dad?
I mean, it's been good. I mean, it's been enjoyable overall, and we do want more kids.
Yeah.
And I kind of been batting around the idea, like, well, one thing I'm on getting close to 40 here, but like, would it be better to do like what your parents did, and space them out? Take one baby stage at a time, basically.
No.
Or, have them all at once.
My opinion, have them all at once. So my parents had me very young, they were just young, and they had me, and they weren't in a position to have another child right away. So then me and my sister are 6 years apart, which is a good size gap. And we get
you were going to kindergarten when she was.
Yeah, I actually brought her for show and tell one time. But me and my sister get along fine. There's nothing wrong. I mean, we're actually friends, actually. But I do think it would be like you and your brother are 2 years apart.
Yeah.
So
which was hell sometimes growing up, but.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think both sides had their pros and cons, but like my mom and dad had me, and then they had my sister, and then they had my brother, and I was a sophomore in high. Like me and my brother, now he's older, so yes, we get along and everything. But like I hung out with him a couple of weeks ago. We did a milk bottles tournament,
yeah,
and which is if you're listening, milk bottles is just a game you play at a bar, or carnival or whatever. But and he had all his buddies there, and it was fun. But I definitely felt like almost like a dad, kind of. You know what I mean? It was kind of. It was fun. We had a great time, but it was kind of weird. Like it was almost like the two different generations. I mean, it is because I'm a millennial. I don't know what the hell he is, but he's not a millennial.
Z probably.
What the hell is out there now? Millennials, Gen Zs.
X is above us or before us. Millennials
X is above
and then
us.
Zs. I don't know what the newest one's called. Maybe they go back to A's.
Do they have a new one?
I don't
know. Well, I don't know. They don't really, because there was a boomers. Ain't that what they're called? Like they're legit called boomers.
Yeah, boomers. Boomers are like our parents.
My parents are Gen Xers.
Oh, my parents.
And then so boomers, Gen X, millennials. Then they went Gen Y. Then they went to Gen Z. It's like they just basically are.
I don't know. Is Y a real thing?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I think it's just Gen Z.
Gen Z, I think. Which who's coming up with that? Like, who's the people that are coming up with this? Because I think they should be more creative.
New York Times.
Yeah. Is it really? Are they the ones?
No idea.
Oh, okay. Billy, check up on that.
Yeah, get Billy on it.
Okay, I'm on it.
Kind of looks like a snowman.
Yeah. It freaks me out. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. So to answer your question, me and my wife decided, my wife and I, and I had a push for this because obviously she's the one it's her body, right? That's, it's her body, her choice, blah, blah, blah. But, I told her, I said we should just have them all as quick as possible, because then you were doing diapers one time. We're doing everything once, and then it's done. It's going to be 6 years, 10 years of hell maybe, but then you're done.
Yeah.
Whereas my folks, they were in diapers, bottles, then they got out of it. And then they had to go back into it. Then they got out. It's like, it's going to be, I think, my mind is once we're out of it, there's like a peace of mind, like, okay, we're done with that. Yeah. We'll never have to go back.
It's kind of nice too, because like we got so many clothes, as presents, gifts or whatever, and then rummage sale shopping.
Right.
And we didn't know we were having boy or girl, so a lot of gender neutral clothes, baby clothes.
And you're able to use them again.
Yes, and they grow so fast. Like, I don't think we've even had her in all of her 0 to 3 month clothes before she outgrew them.
Right.
So it's nice. I mean, we got that stuff already. You might as well.
No, you're absolutely. I mean, like, my brother obviously didn't wear what I wore. I mean, it's just because. Well, I mean, times were different. Between us, I had a mullet when I was a kid.
So did your parents? Were baby showers big back then?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Because like I know they say like you're only supposed to, or I don't know who they are, but only supposed to have a baby shower for your
Yeah,
firstborn,
right. That's what we
which
did.
makes
Yeah,
sense
just the
because normally you
firstborn.
got all the stuff. But if you're that far apart, it's almost like you're starting over every time. That would
Yeah,
almost be justified, I think, having
right.
another baby shower.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I mean, that's another thing to think about. It's like cribs,
Yeah,
baby
right.
swings, all this stuff. I would say knock them. And then too, like my thing is like I'm gonna really preach family, family, family. So when my kids are older, they'll family to them will be important, right? So they'll get along, and
Yeah,
and they'll not only will they be brothers and sisters, but they'll be friends.
yeah, and you got a big family. That's
Well, like my whole family, you're saying?
Well, yeah, and like
Yeah.
so, like your kids have. I mean, your brother hasn't had any kids yet that we know of.
Not that I know of.
Uh,
Right.
but
That's
like
important
your
to say.
sister has what, 3,
Yeah, 3 boys.
and you have 3,
Yeah.
and that's what we were kind of talking. I mean, if my brother's older than me, he hasn't had any kids yet. I don't see him having kids. But my if we just stopped at this one baby, she's not gonna have any cousins,
Yeah, that would suck.
no brothers, sisters. Like
She will get all the Christmas presents.
I
though.
think she would grow up to be very spoiled, very entitled.
Yeah, you don't want that either.
So
man.
we gotta have another one, at least one more.
And yeah, 4 is a lot. And then you go with how many kids do you want? 2. You got to have at least. I will say. I mean, to each their own. I'm just gonna say, for your child's sake, you should have 2 at least.
Yeah, we both were big on 4. I'm falling off of that a little bit,
Well, 4 is a lot.
but I want at least 3. I think just because like even like growing up, I see, the kids I grew up with that had 3 siblings and how nice that was, where they just didn't have, they don't get along with the one brother or sister.
Yeah.
At least they got another one to kind of fall
Right,
back
right,
on and
right.
stuff. So
Well, like I have a son and 2 girls, and it's like, man, I wish I would love. I don't want to trade any of them in, but I do think like if I could if I could guarantee that I'd have a boy, I would like having a 4th kid.
Yeah.
But it had to be a boy though.
yeah,
Only, and that's not for me. I'm not saying because I want a
but
son.
for the
It's for my.
sons,
It's
yeah.
for my son. I think. I don't know. It's hard. I think it's hard for my son with 2 sisters. Like I think it's easier for, and I'm just totally. This is just my opinion. I don't have anything to back me up on this, but I think it's easier for a girl with to get along with 2 brothers than it is for a brother to get along with 2 girls.
Sisters, yeah.
Just if you're in a traditional
Yeah.
household.
Well, and boys play a lot more. They're a lot, rougher,
Yeah, they're just-
rowdier.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it not only so I don't know. But yeah, 3. The only thing about 3 is now you're at an odd number, and that's something to think about. It legitimately is something to think about, the odd number thing, because like let's say you go to Six Flags, who's riding by themselves?
Yeah, but see, on the car ride down to Six Flags, you got mommy and daddy in front, 3 in the back. Perfect.
Yeah, right. But there's still gonna be one kid riding by themselves. Actually, it's probably gonna be mom, right?
No, it's probably going to be dad puking his guts out in the garbage can, not being able to go on roller coasters.
In your case,
Yeah.
not in my case, man. I'll be on front row.
Yeah.
It'd probably be mom riding by herself. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is in my family. But I don't know. I mean, I would say definitely gotta have 2. For your my wife is an only child, and she doesn't like it. She had to play by herself her whole life, and
It still does.
no comments. No comments. So, do you have anything else you want to add, or otherwise this is getting long? Holy shit.
Yes, it is.
Otherwise, we got a couple more things we got to get to here.
Getting sore on this coach.
All right. Well, this couch hasn't been
No.
broken in properly.
No, like I said, just thank God for my wife. She does a great job as a mother, and I stress. I got work and a kid. She's got work that she works like after hours on, like has to go like in-home visits and stuff. Class,
She's going to school.
Yeah, she's finishing her master's, and then the baby, and then she likes doing stuff too. I would be fine sitting home every weekend.
Really?
Not. I kind of became an introvert a little bit, but
Oh. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here. Like I said, I'm not trying to win any points with the women, but yeah, I mean, without. I will say, without. I'm just gonna admit it. Without a mom or the woman, that's key. Like, I don't know.
Well, and then you go back to the
it's important to have a father figure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all know, like, if you don't have a father figure, that's it's important. It's important for a kid to have both parents.
Yeah.
Be involved, and so that's why I try my hardest. But without my wife, man, it would be insane. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do it. I would not be able to do it.
You have those like, more like traditional families too, where like the wife does like everything around the house too, and the child care stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
like, right.
That's gotta just.
Well, that's
and if they work full time too, on top of that, like that's. Yeah. I try to help out a lot around the house, but the problem is, I grew up in a house where my mom did all the cleaning.
No, so you got some bad habits.
Yeah.
Huh?
My dad did do the cooking though, like he wasn't a total.
Your dad did all the cooking?
Most of it, yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
I want to do more of the cooking. The thing is, I said it. I think I said it last week. I want to cook more. I want to get into a hobby of cooking, like, cool stuff.
Yeah, creating stuff.
Yeah, which you're gonna run into your kids. Like, your kid, when he starts or she starts eating, like, she's gonna be eating all this stuff. Like, she'll eat beans, she'll eat anything. Then she'll get older and she'll be like, I don't like beans. You're like, you ate beans when you were 1. But no, God bless the women. Without them, yeah, we'd be screwed. We'd be screwed. I don't know how gay guys have kids and how they do it. Where's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't they just go nuts? Wasn't that funny?
It's got me thinking. Yeah, that would be. Then you think of the kids with 2 moms, like they probably got all the loving in the world.
Right.
They probably got it made.
Yeah, no shit. Well, anyway, that's that for being a first-time dad. Hope you guys got something out of that. We do have a sponsor this week. I got some copy here that I got to read. This week's sponsor is Old Jeans. 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 Everyone always talks about an old pair of shoes, but we want to get the word out on an old pair of jeans. Comfortable, loose-fitting, worn in. When you talk about reliable, look no further than an old pair of jeans. Thank you very much, Old Jeans, for sponsoring this week's episode.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Hey, I got a joke for you that someone told me the other day. I'm on this big health kick, right?
Yeah.
So I was eating fish the other day, salmon. I had my salmon, and he told me a joke. He goes, that fish is healthy for you. It also makes you feel younger. You know that?
The omega-3s or what?
No, it just makes you feel younger. Because when you eat fish, you walk around smelling your fingers all day like you did in high school. Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Unpopular opinion. So when I asked you to be on the episode, and if you don't have one, that's fine. I asked you, I was thinking to change things up a little bit and see if you yourself had an unpopular opinion.
So I do.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's unpopular. It seems like it's going to be unpopular.
Okay.
But it's it's election season.
Yeah, this episode's going to be coming out on election day, actually.
So I honestly don't give a shit who wins.
Really?
For the most part, no. And like, everyone gets so worked up about it. Like, it's like do or die. Like, our country depends on this election. Our country depends on this. Like, and
I haven't been seeing any of that.
No, you haven't. And I get that narrative because it's driving people to vote. And that's where the scary part is, that they're never going to stop that now because they're getting more and more numbers to vote.
Record numbers.
Yeah. but like really in reality, I mean, you and I, our lives as ordinary guys,
Average and average.
and average, very average,
Yeah.
slightly below average in
Yeah,
some aspects.
some aspects.
Uh, what what changes in our day-to-day lives? I mean, yeah, prices maybe go up and down, but are they really the people that are deciding that, or is that just other world events? And
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with you. Like they were talking about like Trump always is like drill baby drill, you know? But then I watch these videos and they're like that I was watching you ever listen to Chris Cuomo? You know who that is?
yeah, is that CNN guy?
Yeah, he used
Or
to
he
be on
was
CNN. Now he's on News Nation. Or he got booted off of CNN, but I actually like listening. And he's a left wing. Well, he says he's independent, but he's definitely left leaning. His brother was the governor of New York
Yeah.
State, and his dad was a something, but definitely Democrats. But I like listening to that guy. But he was saying that right now the USA is I don't know if it's drilling is the right word, but we're producing more. Like we have more oil than we've ever had before. He's saying so. Trump wants to drill, but it's like we already have more oil than we've ever had before. That we're like
Yeah.
drilling. I'll just say drilling. I don't know. So it's like okay. So it's like then a stupid idiot like me is like, well, if we already have as much oil as we ever
Why
had,
is it still
then-
so expensive?
no, why if Trump just wants to drill more, is that how? And then a lot of people say it's not even it's just the whole oil thing. I mean, it's just the prices it's the supply and demand thing. So it's not even has nothing to do with the government.
Right.
So yeah, at the end of the day, I guess I don't really.
Yeah.
I am a believer in. I truly, honestly, don't think it matters who the president. The way that everything is set up. I honestly don't think it matters.
And I think that's what's kind of wrong about it is just the whole two-party system is that, I mean, like look at the border crisis or whatever that happened, and then the Democrats had a bill that they wanted to pass, and then the Republicans they want to pass that, and they say because Trump they want him to have that win, and
yeah, right.
Republicans say because there's other stuff written in it and stuff. It's like, but that bickering like holds us back. Like, why does it have to be? Why do you have to be Republican or Democrat? Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's third party things out there, which I do find interesting that a lot of third party people like.
And would that even help? I wonder. Like, if we had a third, like this Cuomo guy, he always talks about two-party system is bad. We need.
Well,
But
I
then
agree
wouldn't you
with
just have more people?
No, well,
bickering?
then at least you have like a deciding factor though, because like why can't why can't a Republican president, like why couldn't Trump like just come out and say like if I was to run for president,
Okay.
and some the hard hitting questions for Republicans are always like,
And I need to know this. I am running for governor.
so like gay rights and abortion, those are like big ones that are social issues.
yeah.
So why can't a Republican president be like, I don't care. Two men want to get married, two women want to get married. I don't care. Like, why do they have to be against it? And like, why do you have to be like, well, I'm either Republican, I either have all these values and I believe all this stuff, or I'm Democrat and I have all these values. Because like, I don't care if two men get married.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you or I will never have to get an abortion.
Yeah. Right.
Because we're men.
No, I believe in gay marriage too. I mean, they should have that right to be unhappy as well.
Well, amen. Equal rights. But and then like some of the more conservative views I agree with, and like when it comes down to the business aspect of it, like when they say Trump gives the billionaires the tax breaks, well, you got to keep your corporations happy. You got to keep them in house.
Well, I think I've said that on here too. Like do not like rich people.
No, but
at all. It's the
yeah,
like you gotta
right.
need them because they're the ones. I think that's where I was talking to a guy one day who's a Harris guy, and and he's like, you're not rich enough to be benefited enough by President Trump, and I see where he's coming from because I'm not going to be getting these tax breaks or whatever. But I also believe in like I guess what I'm getting at is like the trickle down economics or whatever. I just, is that the best way to do it? I don't know. But the little I know about economics, that's the only, like, I just think that if you treat these people like garbage and start taxing them, and then they can just leave and take their businesses with them. Obviously, luckily we work together. For the viewers listening at home, we work for a company. Obviously, that's not going to ever leave, because it's a construction. I mean, we need to build here, so that's a good thing. But if you work for some factory, like my old man, he worked for a factory. One day they just shut down.
Right. Yeah.
And
a lot have like around the area in our lifetimes, or especially our parents' lifetime.
Right. I mean, stuff that you can just get made somewhere else. Like, I mean, if you're a business person, I mean, is it right? Is it wrong? That's for you to decide. But at the end of the day, you got to make money. That's why you have a business.
And the more taxes you put on those businesses, if they're going to stay, they're still going to want their profits. So that's just going to increase prices.
Well, and even the regulations are, I've heard. I didn't read it. I just watched it, but they were saying the taxes isn't even it's the regulations.
Yeah.
And that's something that I personally see firsthand as a person that sells stuff.
Right.
Like it's the regulations that these cities even. So I don't know. I have no idea. But at the end of the day,
But
I don't know.
And it is. I mean, because I would consider you and I both like. I mean, we are ordinary average guys when it comes to politics. Like we don't I don't know about you, I don't watch the news every day. I don't
I just watch
sit
clips
in my
on
parents' basement and watch videos and then write on Facebook why people are wrong. But we make up probably 99% of the voters are generally uninformed about like what's
man, I don't know. Like when they talk about like one big one now is like Liz Cheney and all these people are like the Republican, like it's not your grandfather's Republican Party anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what that means.
No, yeah.
I don't even get it.
And maybe that's a good thing.
I'll be honest, if you're talking about like Bush's Republican Party, I don't want to be a part of that.
Was her dad Dick Cheney?
Yeah.
The guy that got us into the war in the first place?
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of the old Republican Party if Dick Cheney's involved, I guess. And to be honest with you, the old Democratic Party is something that I actually, the JFK and that's actually what I would aspire. That's probably more me, to be honest with you. And it just seems like nowadays it's like everything switched.
Yeah, it seems like it always. Well, even like Tulsi Gabbard, she was a Democrat, and now she's back in Trump.
No, and that's at the end. Like Tulsi, I've learned about her, and
I like her. Cool. I like her because I always say at the end of the day, you're going to vote for whoever does fit your needs or your wants the most. So for me, for a big thing, because my wife was in the military. I didn't want any wars. I didn't want any possibilities of wars.
Right.
So back in 2020, you had...
Your wife was also in the military?
Yeah, also not anymore. She was.
Holy shit!
So
is there anything she doesn't do?
Well, some stuff she used to do, but. And like that's what my biggest concern was. Like I don't want any wars. I don't want all of a sudden them be like, "Hey, we're sending troops to Israel or something. We gotta all of a sudden she has to pack up and leave." And like that was a big fear of mine. And I felt that in 2020, when Biden won, I wrote a post. I said, "Congratulations. I wish him well. I hope he does well for the country." Which I don't get why people cheer against presidents of your country and hope they fail.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. Whoever wins, you should hope succeeds because in return,
it's going to be good for you.
Right.
And then I said, I hope he doesn't get us into any new wars. And now like World War III is like breaking out all around us.
Yeah.
And like it's when people give Trump a bad name about being buddy-buddy with Putin or whatever, it's like, well, I would rather be buddy-buddy with people than having them threaten to drop a nuke on us.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know why when they always talk about that, why doesn't Trump ever say, you got to keep your friends close to your enemies? That line, you got to keep your friends close to your enemies closer? Like that's, I don't know why you would want to be...
And I know Tulsi's a big advocate of that. Like she thinks like we are on the brink of nuclear war, which is a real possibility. So
I just looked this up. Vietnam War, that war was 20 years long, 1955 to 1975. Just think 20 years long that war was. So why do I bring that up? Because now we're dads. My youngest is 6, or oldest. Well, in 12 years he's 18. You know what I mean? So in
Yeah.
12, I mean, 12 years is going to fly by like
Oh, yeah.
that. And with all these wars going on, if the country isn't just gone, with all these bombs going off, like all of a sudden my boy's going to war, and who knows, right? It's like, yeah, you do think about shit like that. It's just like, I don't know. I have no idea. But
What you gotta do is you gotta make sure he breaks a leg or something,
yeah,
and he can't get drafted.
jump off the top of the don't go down the slide. Jump off the top. You'll be all right. But I don't know. I mean, that's at the end of the day. We'll see who wins and loses. But I
find it entertaining though, like the debates. I like watching the debates. I find it entertaining.
When the debates happened, dude, I was more excited to watch those debates than I was when the Packers play.
Yeah.
I was literally like stoked to watch them.
Election night now, which will be tonight as we're listening to this.
Yeah.
I love watching the coverage and watching the state.
I'll be up all
he's
night.
Got this. Yeah, he needs this state. She needs this state.
That guy from NBC. Well, he always does like the playoffs too for NFL and stuff. That goofy looking guy with the glasses and the tie. He always has his sleeves rolled up. And he, like when the playoffs roll, he's like, if the Cowboys lose, then the Packers can sneak in there. But if the Vikings, he's also like does the commentary. Have you watched that guy? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I can't. His name's right.
Isn't it like Steve Kornacki?
Oh, I was thinking of a different guy.
I think it's Steve Kornacki. But yeah, he gets all into it. This is a long, unordinary opinion. But
oh yeah, got on a rant there.
Yeah, but hey, I gave you the soapbox, and you took it. Yeah, Steve Kornacki, for those listening at home.
God bless America.
Yeah, God, and I'm proud to be an American. Listen, I'm free. Hey, we forgot to do emails. Alrighty, emails. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I don't think.
No, yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Just love your family. Keep grinding away.
And stop getting so pissed off all the time.
Yeah, and don't.
Who cares?
Don't not talk to a friend or a relative, mostly a relative, but a friend too, about their political, like if Thanksgiving, if, Uncle Billy likes Kamala and you like Trump, don't let that ruin a relationship.
Harris. No one even knows who Harris is. You gotta say Kamala. All right, we got a message here, Josh. You want to help me out with this one? So we got a message from Ben. Dear Justin, sourdough bread might be the worst of the bread family.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
It tastes awful. Half the loaf is air pockets. The outside is hard as a rock, and it's impossible to cut decently. There are literally hundreds of other types of bread I'd rather eat. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of agree with that.
The cutting, I agree, but the taste, I love sourdough bread.
Do you? Okay. So my sister, obviously, she's a big bread maker.
Yeah,
and I don't want
jalapeno cheese bread is good.
I'm excited to have her sandwich bread, I guess, because I kind of agree with Ben, man. Then you bite into it, and the bread itself is soft, but then the crust freaking cuts your lips.
It's made for just eating by itself, I think, not
right, yeah, definitely. But no, Ben, I mean that's your opinion, and I'm not going to totally disagree with you.
That's your opinion, and my opinion says your opinion sucks.
We also have 2 emails here. This first one is, oh my god, it's a long one. It's from
I'm gonna have to take a pee
break. It's from Ange. Hey J-Kenn, I enjoyed your show about hobbies and your special guest. I bet you would. I do
my favorite child.
Yeah, no shit. I do believe your guest found her love of photography at a very young age when her mother signed her up for the local county fair for photography through 4-H. LOL. Yeah, that was photography for 4-H, taking it to the fair. I thought I'd share a hobby that I recently got into, birding. A friend of mine at work is a true birder, okay, and travels to different countries to look for different birds. Interesting. I always thought birding would be cool to get into, and last year I bought a bird bath, bird feeders, and absolutely love seeing the different birds that visit my feeders. I'm not going to disagree with her. Are you leaving? Are you leaving? Should I pause it?
Yeah, pause.
All right, hold on a sec here. Not even through the email. All right, 1 second. All right, we'll be back. All right, we're back. You feel better?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was much needed. But birding, is that
Well,
bird?
there's more here.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that bird watching? Is that what it is?
Bird watching. Did you ever see that movie with Owen Wilson where he's a bird watcher? And like there's people that go around just looking for these really like birds that, like what's the word where there's not many of them, not endangered, but just like there's not many like
Unique?
Unique. But yeah, so she was saying, I love seeing different birds visit my feeders. My youngest son gifted me a bird feeder with a camera for Mother's Day, and so the bird feeder has a camera.
I saw those. Those look cool.
And that was a cool gift. I also have a bird app that you can record birds, and it'll tell you what kinds of birds they are. Been loving it. Another hobby I recently am trying out is puzzles. A friend got me interested, and I bought a puzzle, and have to say it's been relaxing. I loved all the suggestions and wrote a few down. You are right. YouTube to learn how to do something new. Or get together with your favorite ladies to scrapbook or paint by numbers could be fun also. Anyways, loved the suggestion. Yeah, so anyway, the whole bird thing. Okay, haha, looking at birds. But I will agree with her. I have a bird feeder in my backyard that I got to take better care of because now it's like filled with a nest or something. But you ever see like a cardinal? People just lose their shit when they see a cardinal.
And I do too. Like, and it's weird. I mean, we live in the city, so we don't get that many birds.
Yeah.
But we'll have a cardinal once in a while, like land on our fence. Like,
and
you take out the phone, try to get a picture of them.
Yeah, blue jays are another
Blue
one
jays
where
are
it's
cool.
like, and they're so pretty. I'm gonna say it, they're pretty birds. But I agree with her 100%. Now as a hobby, I never even thought of that as a hobby, like to just literally sit there and.
Yeah, why is Wisconsin state bird the most annoying bird of them all?
What is it?
The robin.
Yeah, robin.
Yeah, all they do is walk around on the ground and squawk.
They're overrated.
Overrated,
without a doubt. There's so many more birds out there that could be blue jays, cardinals,
red-winged blackbirds.
Oh, I love the red-winged blackbird.
The yellow ones.
I also liked her idea of the puzzles too. Legitimately, I think not to get serious here, but hobbies don't have to be something that's like $1 million to get into or it's totally time consuming. It could be something as simple as a puzzle. And I think more people should do stuff like that. I'm a big mental health advocate. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in mental health. Or I'm a believer that mental health is a thing. And I think it comes from just what's that called? A mind is the devil. What's that? The unstable mind is the devil's playground.
Idle hands.
Idle mind is the devil's playground. I don't know.
Idle hands are devil's playground.
But I've noticed that if I ever do get a little depressed, it's when I'm not doing anything. Yeah. And when you start to do something and you have your mind on something else, like you just feel better. And also like with a puzzle too, like especially as you get older, doing things like that. Like I'm a big Sudoku guy. And I think, oh, this is helping my brain because when I get older, I won't turn into like Joe Biden. What?
You're talking my wife's love language right now. She's huge mental health.
Yeah. If it wasn't such a serious issue, I would do an episode about it, but it's hard to make fun of it. So,
yeah,
it's
true.
But I am a big mental health person. I got another email here. An unpopular opinion. Does anyone balance their checkbook anymore? Like with a check register? Do you? I do, and feel I may be in the minority these days, and if I don't balance, I look for that difference until I find it.
Total minority, I think.
Yeah, you're in the minority there. It's funny because I found like my first ever checkbook, because when I was a kid, I still had when I bought gas, I had to write a check out.
I didn't have a checkbook until like recently.
Really?
Like last probably 4 or 5 years, I think.
But you didn't have a debit card when you were 16, did you?
No, straight cash, homie.
Oh, no shit. I'm
trying. Actually, when I was a kid, very spoiled at this aspect, but my parents had account at the gas station
Oh, okay.
in our hometown. So I just charged it to
Oh,
their account.
and then you would pay your mom and dad back at the end of the month?
Yeah, once in a while.
My parents did not have an account, even though they frickin' do now. And my frickin' brother, sure shit, yeah, that's whatever.
Well, if we were going somewhere, like say we're going to, I don't know, whatever, it's Green Bay or Appleton, I'd be like, yeah, you guys can ride with me. Just everyone give me like $5 for gas. And that'd be my money for the day.
Good thinking. I had a checkbook because I had to pay it. I needed a checkbook when I was a kid, and I found it, and I kept track of it, and I felt like you had to and you should have, but now with the app on your phone, just being able to look and see how much money you have. Now maybe you should keep track because who knows, because you could get hacked or whatever. But I don't keep track, and because I don't write checks like with a debit card. I don't even know. I should. Hey, if you're listening, who wrote that email, do you even put it in your check register? Like if you use your debit card, you'll put that in your checkbook?
Yeah, because that's all coming out of the same account, right?
That just seems like over the top.
Yeah.
I don't know. Times have changed. You're definitely in the minority there, though. Maybe not with it. I'm guessing
unless they must not have a debit card or a separate account or whatever for the debit card, and then just do checks. Because the only thing we write checks for now is
bills.
Not even bills. That's all paid online.
Yeah, I do that online too. It's so simple.
The babysitter, she gets checks. So then I just gave my wife my checkbook, and then, which reminds me, I didn't sign any. So
yeah, so she's not getting paid.
Yeah.
We're a church going family, so we write checks out for church, but that's it. We don't do checks for anything. Nothing.
For your offering, you're saying? Or
yeah, offering. When I offer
a check.
Yeah. Yeah, I just write a check and I put it in there.
So my mom used to give us,
a dollar bill or something.
50 cents in this little envelope.
Yeah. Yeah, we do that
for
too.
church offering for Sunday school.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of times I took the quarters out and bought myself a soda with it.
Are you kidding me?
I did.
Oh my!
And then just put the empty envelope in there.
Oh my God! Okay, we learned something about Josh today. I don't even think
I came a long way since those days.
I would say you better raise your child good. So, those are our emails, and again, you can always email us. Me. I'm speaking like us, like you're a new host here. You can be if you want.
Maybe once a month.
All right. You can email me at J-Kenn, JKENNOAG @outlook.com.
That's Jeffrey. Edward.
No, you forgot the K. Otherwise, you can find me on Facebook at the Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show. Keep sending your emails. Keep sending your messages. That's my favorite part of the show. Send them in. We are going to end this week's episode with the song of the week. I'm going back to the 90s, man. I'm going to do a whole episode on the 90s someday. I just got to find some time to sit down and put down some notes. But I'm a 90s child. Josh, you're a child of the 90s, right?
Yeah, born in the 80s.
Me too, born in the 80s. I guess we could say we're probably more children of the 2000s, I guess, because that's when we were in our prime. But I love the 90s, personally. But anyway, this is a song that probably, I would say that and that's my goal every week, is to come up with a song that none of you maybe have heard of, but it's cool.
Oh, I loved last week's.
Last week's?
Yeah. Margot.
Oh, yeah, Margot. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You heard of the band Blind Melon?
Yeah, No Rain.
Yeah, right. That's a song that everyone knows. But I found a song of theirs that is frickin' awesome.
Is it Lemon Tree?
No.
All right.
It's Galaxy off their second CD, I believe. So Blind Melon, the song is Galaxy. Look it up. If it's a nice day yet, roll those windows down, man. This is definitely a windows down song. The other day, because I'm in the office a lot nowadays, and I listened to this song on YouTube. I shit you not, I listened to it 27 times.
In a row?
In a row. I couldn't stop listening to it.
So do you remember lyrics then when you do that?
Not really.
I can never remember any lyrics ever.
But I was listening to the song. I do know that the song has cool lyrics. Like it has cool lyrics. I just couldn't. I couldn't sing it right now, but it has cool lyrics. The guy's voice. Well, I mean, he sings "No Rain."
Yeah.
The guy's voice is
They
incredible.
were a one-hit wonder, right? That was their one.
Kind of
hit.
a one-hit wonder, but then they had more records. But then I was listening to some of their other songs, and there was a lot of comments saying like, "This song is their best song," and I was like, I don't. "No Rain" is a classic. That's. I mean, I don't know your thoughts on it, but that's a classic song. This song is not like that. This is an upbeat rock song, like think 90s alternative kind of thing. It's called Galaxy, and I could not turn it off the other day. I listened to it non-stop. And if anyone at YouTube is listening, you should put a button on there that you can press where it's just an automatic replay. A loop button, because I always had to stop what I was doing to go hit replay. So, and it's not efficient. And I'm a big efficient guy. So, Galaxy by Blind Melon is the song of the week. Well, anyway, Josh, thanks for joining us this week. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me.
You betcha. And, yeah, I hope you guys learned something about being a first-time dad. And remember, no matter what the results are on Tuesday, for an ordinary average guy, who gives a shit? See you later.